Sorry. I've already got the giggles, this isn't gonna...
That's gonna be the vibe. Today's video, guys. I am back in Club Haus Studios, but today, I am not alone. I have a friend.
Hi, I am Friend.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, then welcome to the chaos. I do all things music related on here, from audio engineering content to production and songwriting challenges to just talking about music and musician life. In today's video, I am not alone. I have James here with me. Say hello, James.
Hello, James.
Because today we're doing, well, kind of an audio engineering challenge, because I have never recorded drums before. I have only ever used samples in all of the work that I've done, which, you know, are real drums. People like to call samples not real drums, but unless you're actually using a drum machine, it's a real drum. It's just someone else recorded it for you. You then don't get much control over the mix, because they all come pre-mixed. Plus, if I'm working with bands and stuff, I need to be able to record their drummer. So, recording drums, an important learning lesson for any audio engineer.
Message approved.
So, today, I'm going to record drums for the first time, because I have a bunch of new stuff I'm working on, and I needed James to do some drumming on that for me, because I wanted live drums on my stuff again. And we're just going to record the chaos that is that first attempt. Because obviously there's lots of different ways you can actually set up a drum kit. You don't have to do it any one way. James is going to show me through the way that he generally likes to set it up.
I use a very similar setup that I use for my other kit on this one, just a slightly smaller version.
Without further ado, I suppose we should actually get some mics on this drum kit, because right now it's looking a bit bare.
Aye. For sake of sanity, the first thing I do when I'm recording drums is come up with a channel list, because it's dead easy to get yourself wrapped in XLRs.
Yeah.
So particularly live sound engineers, but a lot of studio engineers do this as well. They'll start off with a kick drum. So they'll do any mics on the kick, and then snare, tom 1, tom 2, if you've got other toms, them, and then overheads and hi-hats and stuff like that. I help set the apple cart because I do overheads first. My logic being is if I get them to right, then I can mess up everything else and still have a decent... It's kind of not the end of the world if you kind of screw your tom mics up, or, you know, if your kick and snare aren't quite as punchy as you want them to be. There are fixes for that. But if you mess up your overheads, then it can be a whole world of pain. 1 and 2 is my overheads, and then 3, 4 on the kick, 5, 6 on the snare, 7, and then 8 on the tom. So that's kind of my internal mic channel list, and it's already written on the console like that as well, so it's just easier. And the other thing to kind of get in your head first is which perspective you're doing it from. And this causes a lot of arguments as well. Drummer's perspective or audience perspective. Most people think that because I'm a drummer, I want it in drummer's perspective. But for me to go from the drumming position to the producer position, if I'm hearing it as I do behind the kit, then that drum kit will be mixed like the loudest thing on the planet. So I mix it from audience perspective, and then it kind of separates drummer brain from producer brain. That makes sense. But that's just me. Yeah, it's up to you which perspective you would prefer it to be in. You might not have a preference.
I don't have a preference, because I haven't really... You know.
Right, let's do it from audience perspective then, just because that's, for me, that's the most natural, because I think anyone who is kind of stood in the crowd looking at it is going to be then, that's how they're getting it. Let's grab the overhead stands.
Stand. One stand, where's the other stand?
The other one is right
it's
behind you.
right behind me, it's right there.
Oh yeah, it's got a weight on it, you could probably get the weight off if you wanted to.
Nope, I must be strong.
Yeah, so I normally use the longer one to go kind of from this area-ish over the top. Oh, this is another thing. Overhead spacing. There is a million different ways to do it. We can experiment with some if you want. So basically different miking techniques basically get you to different places.
Yeah.
So it's all about what you're after. I used to do the Glyn Johns thing. I don't know if you've heard of that. So it's one over the snare, down there behind the floor tom, pointing across, pointing like that way across the kit. And you do the same thing, pan left and right. Works really well with a pair of ribbons. I used to do that all the time, and then got fed up of how much, because I crash on the ride a lot. When you've got a mic there, the sound isn't resonating really from the edge of the cymbal, it's resonating from the top and the bottom. So as it's doing that, you can end up with like a whoosh, whoosh, whoosh through that mic. So I went back to miking from over the top, and now I kind of do, it's kind of like, it is a spaced pair, but it looks a bit like a Glyn Johns because one of them's higher than the other, but it's just because they're both measured out from the centre of the snare. So yeah, if you want to get that over the snare.
This is where you guys get to see how bad I am with mic stands and how long this is going to take.
Now is a good time to check that your boom stands aren't touching any of the cymbal stands. The amount of times I've recorded drums and then listened back and gone, why is there a really low rumble coming through that mic? Even with the shock mount on. Sweet, what I would do now is start throwing up some of the other mics. I kind of get everything clipped on and I come back to the overheads.
Well, otherwise you could end up trying to move them out of your way while you're doing stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Only have to move them back.
And I don't like having mics on tall stands when I'm running around.
Yeah.
Kick mic.
Kick mic.
So that's the kick in, so that's a dynamic.
And that actually goes in the hole of the kick, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's different ways of using this. So this is a V kick. I don't know.
Show everyone the mic, because I didn't actually show them the mic.
I'll let you do that.
Da, 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 da.
It's got some really cool switches on the back of that. It's got like an inbuilt EQ, so you can choose whether you want it more modern or more vintage. Generally with mics like that, particularly that one, so like the modern sound is going to be more like an Audix D6. Audix mics are really, really good mics, but they're very kind of rock and metal orientated. Whereas like your Shure kick drum mics and your AKG kick drum mics are more kind of classic, mainly because they were designed God knows how many years ago and basically haven't changed. Yeah, you kind of get to decide. That's why I like that one, is because you kind of get, well, you almost get 4 mics in one. Do you know what I mean? Because you can have different combinations of it. So yeah.
I always like mics with buttons, so you can switch things up. It's always fun. Right, so my stand's in the way there.
Stand is in the way there.
Gonna have to move you already. Right, if I put you more like there, then I can fit that in.
There we go.
You're a little bit low down there. So I presume, well, I say I presume, I have watched videos, so I do know something. But if I move this around the drum kit, I'll get different types of kick sound, really, won't I?
Yeah. So there's loads, and obviously, depending on whether you've got a front head on or not, depends on what kind of sound you get. I normally go for a front head on. It sounds fuller and warmer to me normally. And also depending on, I mean, you can have it in different places within this kick port as well, because you could have it there or you could have it further in, you know, like that, and you're going to get different sounds. One thing you do need to think about a little bit with these, particularly the kick ports, there's a lot of air moving through there. I have found that bigger kick drum mics, like the Shure Beta 52. If you put that in there, because there's so little room around the outside of it, you just end up with this like hoofiness that isn't that nice, because
yeah, can't escape
the
around.
air's struggling.
Yeah.
Whereas this is a bit thinner, so you've still got plenty of room for the air to escape. I'm using felt beaters, so I would kind of either go straight in or point it a little bit towards the beater. You've got to think about this head as well. When this head resonates, again, it's not resonating on that plane, it's resonating on this plane. So if you have if it's 2 in the middle, you're not going to get as much of the sound actually coming out. Yeah, and it kind of cancels itself out a little bit. So you can sometimes, if you have a bit of a weak sounding bass drum, just have a look at it, because it might be the case that it's because your mic's there. If you stick it in a little bit further,
or bring it out a little bit more. Yeah, one or two.
So yeah, I'd start somewhere like that. And then the second kick mic, because I'm greedy, this is a sub kick mic, and you can make them out of any speaker. I've made probably 10 to 15 of them now. One of the really good ones that I did once was I went to Cash Converters and bought in like a little practice amp for like 15 quid, took the speaker out of it and just wired that to an XLR. This one is an NS10 speaker, which is kind of the best speaker to do it with. I don't know if it is the best speaker to do it with, or if it's just that our ears are so used to hearing this. You know, it's the SM57 thing. Is the SM57 a good mic, or is it just that it's been used for the past 50 years and every record that you really like has been recorded on it? Do you know what I mean? It does work really well, and it does definitely give you that sub-kick thing. Try not to overthink it too much. You can kind of use anything. I've used bass speakers. They can be really subby. But yeah, I think the reason why people like the NS10 is because it's a paper cone. It's really lightweight, so it moves quite quickly, so it keeps up with the transients as well. You will need to knock pretty much all the top end off it. You're just using it for that like really low oomph So I normally just kind of get that kind of like that. And again, the big thing is not having the kick drum touch that stand. And there will be a little bit of playing around with the phase on them too, to make sure that they line up. Snare mic.
Snare mic.
So we've got 2 mics again. So we've got 57, because why not?
Why not?
It's a 57. And then, as our bottom snare mic, we've got a ribbon. You've heard me bang on about Sylvia Massey before.
Yes.
I love that woman's brain to bits. She, like, genuinely. One of the things that she talks about in her book is thinking about the drum kit as like one instrument rather than a collection of different ones. Seeing the whole drum kit from the audience perspective. She was talking about, obviously we've set the kick drum mics up pointing towards the drummer. She said, so her idea was to set the other mics up in the same fashion. We want to try and get as close to this line as possible when we're miking stuff up. So even though you can put a snare mic in from that angle, we want to try and bring it over here to bring it in from this angle, because the closer, the theory is that the closer they all are to pointing at one source in one direction, the cleaner the phase will be.
Right. I need to get sort of in between you two then. Oh my God.
You know what it's like? It's like operation.
Yes.
With snare miking, as with anything in a studio or drum miking wise, there's a million different ways to do this. The general consensus with any drum is that if you want attack, you point it to the middle. If you want ring, you point it towards the outside, or like the shell tone. On snares, you can actually point it directly at the side of the shell. I've never really liked it because it's very, very kind of attacky and shelly without much warmth to it, is what I've found. This is quite an attacky snare. So there's a couple of things that we're trying to like get. Obviously we want our angle, but we also don't want the drummer to hit it. In this case the drummer is me, so I'm definitely going to end up hitting it. And don't be frightened of like distance between your snare mic and your snare, because it does help round the whole thing off a little bit. So I'd go something like that. I might adjust it a bit when I'm sat behind it, and sometimes I say that to drummers, I can get them set up, get the mics up, and then go, play, tell me what's in your way. There's been times before now where I've gone to gigs and the snare mic is literally like that. And the next snare mic is the bottom snare mic. Now normally you would use another 57, point at the bottom of the snare, which we can do. I find it a bit harsh, so I use a ribbon, but I don't point at the bottom of the snare. It seems really counterproductive, but this was a thing that was shared with me by a guy called Cecil, who worked
this is a Cecil trick, is it?
This is a Cecil trick. He worked with like Biffy Clyro and stuff. He was like, do this and it'll round the whole thing out. So that wants to go underneath the snare, between the snare stand and the crossbar of the double pedal, and it actually wants to point at the floor tom.
Between?
Yeah, so like in this gap
in
here.
that gap here.
Yeah, you've got it. And then I would angle it a little bit more. I'd try and get
more towards the drummer.
Yeah. And I'd try and get the centre of that as close to the centre of that snare as possible. I know you're not going to get it because that's in the way. But so the idea is that every time you hit the snare drum, you get sympathetic ring from the floor tom. Because in theory, your snare's actually in the null point of the mic there, you know, because it's figure of 8.
Yeah.
So you get like a big bubble on that side and a big bubble on that side. So your snare is sat in this void.
So it's not really a snare mic at all.
It's not really a snare mic at all. But when you listen to it, you'll hear how much of the bottom of the snare it picks up. Every time you hit your kick drum, it picks up a little bit of that and a little bit of your toms. It's like a fat mic and a snare mic, kind of. I don't use a lot of it generally, just a little bit in there, but it helps fill the kit out a little bit. Right.
Toms.
Toms. We have SE V-Beats, which are those two.
Do we love SE just because they sponsor you?
Is it that
or
obvious?
do we just love SE?
We do. The reason we got a sponsorship was because I liked their mics. So I had a full set of Sennheiser drum mics and I had a full set of Shure drum mics. The reason we got the endorsement was because I really liked the V7 that they did. It was really good. And I really liked the 4400s. When we got a deal with them, Tony, the guy who sorts us out, said to us, will you try the drum mics? And I said, I will do. I'm interested in trying them out because they just brought them out. I've already got 2 sets of like creme de la creme drum mics, don't be offended if I send these back. And he said, absolutely fine. If you're not happy with them, you can still keep your endorsement, all the rest of it. He was really chill about it. And then he sent me the drum mics. I don't think I used any of the other drum mics for about 6 months, and I ended up selling both sets. And then Sennheiser brought these out, which are a Diddy version of the 421s. So these are the 421Ks. I was like, I've got to have a set of them just because they look so cute. They're in between like a vintage 421 and the modern 421, so they're kind of well-rounded. I'm not keen on these on this drum kit. I prefer these on the Gretsch. So we'll start with the SEs, which are definitely more scooped than these, and then we can move over to these in a bit. So same thing with the toms. We want to kind of mic it from the front, pointing backwards. Yeah.
And the fun thing about these little tom mics is that they just clip on to the drum themselves.
Oh yeah, there is an argument over whether people prefer that or having stands. You do get more separation when you have a... But I'm also lazy. So.
People will come up with all sorts of audio explanations for why they prefer something, and then proper engineers will just be like, it's just easier.
It's just easier.
Do you want to do floor and I'll do, you're not really mid or top now, you're just other tom.
Yeah, just other tom.
Is it easier to go under or over first?
I normally go on the top and then, yeah, push down. It sucks if you ever get your finger caught in them. So when you're pushing it down.
Probably isn't fun.
So yeah, with these, they are quite attacky, so you can kind of point it more towards the Evans logo if you wanted to. I don't have a sponsorship with Evans yet, but you know, if you guys are watching, then
You hear that name drop? There's a name drop for you.
Wicked. I think that's all of our...
That's all our... We're not going to put a mic on the...
on the hi-hat.
On the hi-hat,
We
thank
can
you, that's
do.
the word I was looking for.
Yeah, so the last few drummers that I've worked with then sent me mixed revisions saying, can we have the hi-hat up a little bit? And I was like, not really, because I didn't put a hi-hat mic up. I do try and keep it to a minimum.
It's another one of those where it depends on what style you're doing, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I have started going back to having a hi-hat mic. I don't like them.
I suppose, but if you're doing sessions with other drummers though, if you put it in, then when you do your mix, you can mix it without and then see what your revisions are. And if your revisions are more hi-hat, then you've got that option to play with.
Yeah, which is exactly why I started doing it again.
Which is always a good thing, I think, to do when you're working with other people in it.
Yeah.
Because you never know what they're gonna like, and sometimes people aren't good at communicating that stuff at the start.
Yeah, and it's
If they don't know enough about it themselves. Then.
Yeah.
Right, I think, should we put a hi-hat mic on then? Because then we can play with that in there.
Yes.
So we're gonna go with an SE7.
We are going to go with...
V7 even.
V7X.
Oh, a V7X.
Yeah, so it's their version of a 57 rather than a 58.
Ah.
So basically the only difference is the windshield.
Where would you say you like your hi-hat mic overall?
I either go straight down or straight up, but obviously this stand's too tall, so I'd just go straight down. 2 or 3 fingers from there. And a quick test to make sure that that's not going to get in the way. So I've left the hi-hat as I would play it. Just get hold of the hi-hat and just, because that's going to be...
So not just whack it.
Not just whack it. Get hold of it and push it up towards the mic, because that's going to be the biggest
So
extent.
we might want to go a teensy bit higher just to be on the safe side. There we go. Now it's clearing it.
Yeah. So that's going to be your most extreme movement on that. Yeah, so overheads, back to overheads.
Oh yeah, I forgot we haven't actually put mics in those yet.
No.
So we're going to put in the 4400s, aren't we?
Yes, we're going to put the minus 10 dB pad on. We're going to leave any kind of bass roll off, so we're picking everything up.
Yep.
And then we're going to go on to hypercardioid.
Which is all set correctly for us already. It's almost like they came off the kit earlier.
The reason I go for hypercardioid is mainly just because I want, for my overheads, I want like a really detailed picture.
Do that. You can do the tall one.
If I want more room sound, I can obviously put the rooms in more, but also I can just compress these harder, and that will naturally
Yeah, of course,
bring a bit more of that room through.
Yeah.
The old school way is with a cable. I like using jack cables because obviously it's a fine point, and normally you just hold it in the center and then you pull it out. The big thing to know is you got to think about where your drummer's going to be playing. So if I'm going for it, that might be a little bit close. That one's probably all right. So we'll probably need to lift that one up a little bit.
I don't think it goes any higher from there, does it? So I have to go from here.
And I think this is why it was on the flip side before.
Oh yeah, it was meant to be that. I think it's turned itself around after I finished.
Yeah.
This is a lot easier to do if you're tall, isn't it?
It is.
If I was sat there, I'd be like awkwardly squatting.
Yeah. Perfect. So this is the modern way.
Oh, of course, your laser.
Laser. So I aim for that solid piece of metal rather than aiming for the capsule because it's got a grid on it. 0.921. 0.937.
It's close enough.
Close enough. I probably wouldn't bother with one of these, if I'm honest. Wicked. So, now we need to get some cables into them. This is my least favourite part.
We need separate cables for the overheads
We
because
do
they're
need
so
separate
high
cables.
up.
Because we're doing it from drummer's perspective, from audience perspective, we'll want channel 1 on the left.
The tricky bit.
Yeah, really hard to see numbers. Again, so I kind of get these in the right kind of place, coil them up, so then they're easier to grab. Is that 3?
Yes.
So that's going to the kick in.
Oh, it's over here.
Yeah, I really do need to label these up better. That one's going to the, yeah, that one.
This one's our sub kicks one.
What are we on now? 5?
Yes. And that's snare.
Snare
Isn't
top.
it?
Yeah. So I would take
Swapsies.
it. I would take it underneath there first,
Ah,
and then
that does sound like a good plan.
and then it's a shorter run. So I take it underneath this stand. There you go, and then round the front of it. Right. So that's 9, not 6. 6.
Of course, it's the last one you check.
5. There you go. So that's going to the similar route.
Probably easiest to go through there, isn't it?
It is. And then you can crawl
Just
around
feed
the other
you
side of the kit. I wonder why no one wants to record a drum kit anymore. Well, proceeds to spend half of the day crawling around on the floor. So we're on 7.
Wait, that one or that one?
Top one.
Top one
I would
first.
take it same route.
Makes sense.
And then we're on number 8, which is that one. So that's going to the floor tom.
It's the floor tom.
Tidy. And then number 9 is the hi-hat mic. Go.
Are you gonna reach?
It will not reach.
No, it's gonna need another cable, isn't it?
Yeah, so just do what we've done with the overhead, so you just coil it up near.
Right.
Sweet. And then these 3 are our spares. So we'll use them 2 on the overheads, and then this one on the hi-hat.
Come
I
here.
always try and look at which way the cable has been coiled. So like as you start pulling the cable off, it just comes off quite naturally. So if I put that there and I just start pulling that cable up that stand, it just naturally uncoils really nicely. And I don't have to fight with it. Should we get
that needed tightening.
should we get a sandbag on that?
Aye, probably a good idea. It's a bit wobbles. Bit wobbles.
Like everything else in this studio.
Da 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 da.
Sweet.
Drum kit all mic'd.
There's
And we'll-
2 other mics, technically 3 other mics, that we will be using if you're interested in them. Yeah, that's 2 of them. You might have seen the post about it.
Oh! There's a telephone on the wall over there.
And that'll be our horrible crush mic.
So we also have room mics set up already over here. Da 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 da.
Yeah, so they're the SET2s. So they're very similar to the 4400s, but they've got a titanium capsule, so they move a lot quicker. This is something that I've actually developed myself.
This is a James original.
This is a James. Other people do this to some extent, but I've never seen anyone do it to the extent that I do it. This is something I've developed myself. I don't know if you can see them, but they're like little pillows. And they are actually 2 different forms of insulation inside of them. So I've got one with a rubber band on that fits really well. You see this ridge on the
Oh yeah.
on the 57? That rubber band fits really well inside there. It keeps it on.
And then these go on your
these are
toms.
just-
I'll give you
yeah.
that one because that's probably going to be easier for you to put on then.
So the main thing that I'm after is bleed into the tom mics. I want to get rid of as much of that at source as possible. And it's basically, I think it's 1 inch thick, the green rock wool. Do you remember the solid stuff that we put in there? And then it's got another inch of the soft insulation on the outside of it. And you'd be amazed how much it works, mainly for the cymbals. I mean, these are hypercardioid mics anyway.
Yeah.
So we're already getting a very focused sound, but putting this round, it just helps it out even more. Them Sennheisers, them 421s that we were looking at before, I think they need this. I really struggle without them. I've seen people with these things before. It's called a crash guard. And people put them over their snare mics.
So it would go over the top like that.
Yeah, exactly. And your cable would stick
cable
out
would
the back
go
end.
through,
Yeah. So the idea is that you can...
Oh, so you could like thread that onto the stand, then put them mic on them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's like a halo, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a mini halo, yeah. And obviously it stops the drummer from hitting it as well. Tried that out for a bit. It's only got a really crappy piece of foam inside it. Didn't really make a very good difference to the sound.
Hey, crappy foam can do decent things. That's all my vocal booth's made out of.
It can,
Just wooden
in
crappy
the
foam.
right context.
Yeah. If you stuff it 3 layers thick behind a load of fabric.
Yeah, fantastic.
But just a little bit on that on some plastic, that's basically going up against plastic, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I found that it made the snare mic sound really boingy.
So where are we placing our baffles and why are we placing them there?
So I kind of try and make like a small, especially for this kind of music where it's we want quite a dry sound, really. If we want it to be wetter, we can use the room mics, but the immediate mics we want to be quite tight, quite dry. So I would aim to get these as close to the kit as possible while still leaving some room for the drummer to get in. So I'll just get that to sit across there like that, so I can still get in. So when you're a drummer and you think about putting a baffle in, a lot of people will put it there. And it's like, your drums are down here.
We have a full setup of drums here.
Does everything make sense?
Everything makes sense to me, yeah. Plus now I have a record of it to look back on.
Yeah.
It's the real reason I make YouTube videos.
The next step is trying to remember what we plugged in there this morning.
Luckily, they're already written on there for us.
Apart from 2. You see that tape to your left-hand side? Rip a little bit of that off and put it over these 2.
Oh, have those actually been assigned something now?
They have. Yeah.
Is that where the telephone goes?
Yarp.
Yarp.
And the hi-hat mic.
Ah, our hi-hat mic is of course, because it'll be too high up the thing. Because, fun fact about this studio, guys, right? This desk has, how many channels is it again?
48.
48, but the interface only has
32.
32. I'm getting him to do the numbers because I'll get them wrong because I'm terrible. They know I'm terrible at remembering numbers. Some of the channels on the desk, they're all wired up to XLR tie lines in the studio, but they can't go direct into the interface themselves.
So from channel 33 to 48, in theory, don't have a direct tie to the interface, but you can repatch them.
Yeah.
It just becomes a bit of a pain in the arse, and I am all about the simple life.
But basically now we have to make sure that everything that's coming out of that desk, we've got all the channels set up right on Logic to record it all in. I need to actually remember the thingy for that, but I so rarely do it now because I just load in my presets. We want it starting from channel 25 for now, don't we? And then we'll sort out the other channels after. And how many do we need total?
12?
12? That sounded like a question.
9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 12.
Let's name them as we go. So track 25 is our overhead left. And then it's Tom 1. And Tom 2, and then what order the next ones go in, because we've got room mics then to go on, and we need to change the inputs for them because they're not the inputs that they're currently saying they are.
Yeah. I would do room left, room right.
Room left and room right, which are over there on channels 11 and 12, is that?
Sounds about right. It was hi-hat first.
Hi-hat is on channel 16.
Yep, and then label it however you want. The phone, if you want to call it that.
Phone.
Or
I've already forgotten what the hi-hat. Right, okay. So that is all now. Should I include the phone one in our drum preset?
Yeah.
Actually, what I need to do first of all is make them a folder thing, which is something D. Command Shift D. That's what I was looking for. Yes, I would like a summing stack, thank you very much. Name that drums, and I'm going to colour it. I make mine red. Right, so that's set up on there now.
Have you saved that?
I have not. I have now.
preset.
Well, I've saved it as a preset. Okay. So the way it just works is once you want to make yourself a folder like that, and once you've made that folder, you just click on that folder track, you click save. But you can do it with a non-folder track as well. This is just how you get multi ones like this.
Right, next thing I would do is apply phantom power well, actually, before we do that, let's check the patch bay.
Yes, because we want to take anything that's currently on the patch bay off, because as this is my first time recording drums, we want to make decisions about everything as we go.
We do.
And normally James has it set up so that he's got certain ways that he knows he likes to do things, certain pieces of equipment he knows he likes to use on different instruments. So some of these channels here, because they're preset for drums already, they're being sent out to certain compressors and things like that. So we just want to basically unplug all of that.
Do you think I unpatched everything last night, mainly because I was modding the console? We should be grand, but we'll double check it.
There's nothing in 16, but there is one on 17 on the bottom row. That's the input, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's actually what I use to sum my guitars down to. So we know we're getting from the mics to the console, from the console to the converters. Job done.
Right, we want fountain power first. So we just want overhead fountain power.
Yeah.
Bosch. The room mics need fountain power and they're over here. Bosch. Bosch. None of the others do they? Or does the phone?
No, the phone doesn't.
Figured it didn't, because it's a dynamic thing, innit? So
Yeah.
yeah. Right, now we can unmute them. So
Yes.
I just go up to 6, recall. And then we've got to do these separate
Yeah,
because
these
they're not on the thing.
Right, what I would do now, which might sound a bit counterproductive, is I would go and mute all of the channels.
So you can take them one at a time. Oh, I don't actually need to mute that. I'm going to do muting those, our toms. And then the other thing we want to do to set up for this first one is just take the EQs off for now.
Right, is there anything else? I think I just need to go in there now, don't I?
I think, yeah. Let's do this. We're starting with the kick, yeah?
Yeah, let's start with the kick. Felt like there was something else in my brain, but we'll figure it out.
So my sub kick is going up into the red on here. So that's showing its peak in there. So I probably just want to pop in my pad. What sort of level am I looking for on the desk?
So 0 on that meter is like really low down in it on the actual. So I normally push it quite a lot. Like I would try and get the loudest parts, like +9, maybe tipping into +12 if I'm really gunning for it.
Cool. Coming out about that already. So now I'm just hearing the kick in. And that's just the sub. And that's the two of them together.
When you're listening to that kick with both of them in, just try flipping the phase on the sub kick and see whether it feels
Right.
beefier or not.
Yeah. So if I flip the phase on this one. Huh. I think it's umphier without the phase in, it's punchier with the phase in.
Yeah, you can always swap it over later. Like it's
Yeah.
something that's worth checking on the way in.
I want to aim for -18 going in on Logic, so they're both a bit loud going into Logic, so we'll just dip the faders down. Okay, we're coming out at a good level on Logic now.
So basically what I do is I start with the kick and I will try and get everything to about -18. And once we've been through the whole kit, you might find that the overheads are like nowhere near. There might be like -14 or something. No, opposite way. Yeah, minus scale, like -20. That's all right because you're never going to want your overheads at the same volume as your kick drum. You know, like you might end up finding that when we're actually tracking, the kick and snare are like -18-ish, and then everything else is quite a bit lower than that. And your faders on your console might reflect that as well. But don't worry. The main thing is that you want it to sound good where you are.
Right, shall we move on to snare?
Yarp.
So my snare bottom is quite low there, isn't it? That's because the gain's all the way down. Let's turn that gain up. Okay, let's unmute them. So that's our snare top mic. That one's our snare bottom. And that's both of them together. Let's actually just mute the kick mic so we're not listening to that. It's coming out very loud on Logic, so we definitely need to dip it down on Logic. Tip those faders down. And then we also want to check for phase issues on this as well, don't we? There it is. You can really hear it on that one. You couldn't hear it as much on the kick before. It just sort of made it sound a bit punchier, but you can really hear it when you flip the phase on that one. That now they're out of phase and now they're back in phase. I mean, I can't say I like that snare sound right now, but that's entirely EQ based rather than level based in it.
I think it's also tuning because this kit hasn't been tuned yet. So what I normally do is kind of get it to the point where we know we've got the right things going in, and then we'll tune the kit to the key of the track. And at that point, before we start EQing, we can make more decisions on drum tonality, whether we want to deaden stuff or make stuff brighter or whatever.
Go in order. Tom 1.
Looks like it's coming out a good level on there. A little bit loud in Logic though, so let's dip you down. Okay, that one looks good. Let's do Tom 2. Well, that one's a bit louder on the... Okay, so we have a choice to make here now, guys, because it's coming out a little bit higher on the channel, but it doesn't sound bad, does it? And the gain is as low as it can go, so I could dip the pad in and turn the gain up some.
Especially with the new op amps I've put in, they distort in a really nice way. So if you're pushing it a little bit and it sounds really nice, yeah. I mean, you could try flicking the pad in, bringing it up, and see if it feels the same to you.
What we should do, isn't it? We should just try it. If I've got a question mark over something, I should just try it. Let's just bring it down going into Logic from that and give that a good listen. So that's what we would be getting. And now let's try popping the pad in and bringing up the gain. Oh, you can actually hear a difference there. It's quite subtle. I do think it sounds a little bit nicer with just the pad out, because it's only pushing it a little bit.
Yeah, so I would do overheads first.
Do overheads first, then the hi-hat mic?
Yeah, what I would do is I would get the drummer to just play kick, snare, set my overheads off that. Some people go off cymbals, but I think prioritising our overheads for the actual kit sound rather than just the cymbals, then I would do kick, snare, and make sure if you pan your channels in Logic now, then you'll be able to hear if they're uneven.
I was meant to pan you guys. Is that slightly funny sound I'm getting there a phase issue? No. They're matching up level-wise, so they're going into the desk around the same kind of decibel level, and they're coming out into Logic around the same kind of decibel level.
Yeah, so I would prioritise the level that you're seeing on the input of the console.
Yeah.
Because you want the preamps to drive in a very similar way.
Yeah.
So you might be pushing one overhead more than another, but then on your actual meters you're gonna be in the same area. So I would try and keep your faders next to each other as much as possible, as close as you can, and then use your red gain pots to change the relationship between the two.
I think I'm happy with that.
Sweet, yeah, it sounds good from in here. Whilst the drummer's doing that for the overheads, I would also do the rooms. The rule of thumb that you've just used for the overheads, I'd use for the rooms as well.
Okie dokie. Just gotta sit back in the middle so we can actually listen to that. Sounds pretty decent already, that, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. I like room mics quite a lot.
Right, hi-hat mic.
Hi-hat.
Okay. Right, last one is the phone then, isn't it?
Cool. Yeah, I'll do kick and snare again and you can have a little listen to that.
Okay. Okay, I don't think I want to push that too hard. It doesn't sound as nice if you push it too hard, I don't think. Okay, that all looks about right.
Sweet. So what I'll do now, I'm going to play a drum beat that kind of encompasses everything. And then what I'd normally do is mute everything and start with my overheads. So I'd unmute my overheads and then maybe my kick in and then get the relationship between them two that I'm after and then start slowly unmuting everything else and get everything else in there to the point where I'm listening to it, I'm like, yeah, that sounds pretty good.
And would you say you're looking to get the balance overall right on the faders on the desk going into Logic rather than worrying as much about getting...
Yeah. So I would 100% favour it sounding 80% of the way there when I'm recording in than trying to get everything at zero, minus 18 on the way in.
Yeah.
And then doing that mix later. This conversation came up in control room the other week. Obviously, there's no right or wrong way of doing it. What I will say is a lot of the producers in there that have a lot of very big credits to their name all do it this way. I don't know if that's just because they're used to working on analog consoles and that's the way that makes sense on an analog console versus through an interface. But yeah, they all shared the same opinion that that this was the easiest way to do it, in their opinion and in mine. I'm just a copycat. I just copy what they do. So yeah, I'll play a drum beat that I'll just try and encompass everything in it.
Fabulous.
And then you can just have a little play around and see where you're feeling.
Okay, overheads. I don't know about you guys, but I think that kick needs to come down. Do we think we want less of this? Less of that? So basically, really, as long as I'm coming through, I'm not going over minus 19, minus 18 on any of these. So I'm going to bring those overheads down a touch because they're coming through a bit hot on Logic.
How's it sounding?
I don't know. I'm at the stage now where we're putting everything in. It's like, sounds like drums.
That's good. This doesn't sound like a banjo or something, you know. What you might be hearing right now is a completely un-EQ'd drum kit.
Which is why I need to get used to hearing that, because I've never really heard that much before.
Yeah.
And then I can't really make choices about what to EQ where if I've never heard what it sounds like without all that thrown on it. Well, yeah, and I think I'm struggling to figure out if I want to like change the levels on anything further, because is it the question if I want to change the levels on that more, or does that just need some EQing to balance it out better?
I think if everything, if it feels like a drum kit but just not very polished or tight, then you're probably in the right kind of place.
I guess next step is we record in a take and then you come in and be like, actually it sounds like
Fair. Okay.
Right. Ready?
Was kind of just falling through that. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah. Do you want another one like that?
Yeah. Let's just do one more, and then we've got a couple to play with.
Do you want me to come in and have a listen?
Yeah, that's probably the best plan next, isn't it?
Yeah, for dry, for straight off the console, like no EQ. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, maybe not the right parts that I'm playing, but sounds really good.
So after this, James and I did do some experimenting. We tried different overhead mics, different tom mics, different room mics, and even swapped out the snare and tried out all of his different snares. But I will make different little individual videos for each of those because this video was already getting quite long. Okay! We've had a very successful day recording drums, I think.
It's been a good day.
I've got the joy that is editing all that into something coherent now.
I was thinking that's a lot, yeah. So when this video drops in 2028, it's gonna...
But thank you very much, James.
It's all right.
This was a very helpful session.
Yeah, no, it's been helpful for me as well, so thank you very much for choosing us to do it with, because it's been fun.
We got to do a lot of experimenting today.
Yeah.
Anywho, that is all for today's video though, guys. So I shall say thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then you might enjoy my content on this channel in general, in which case you might want to hit that subscribe button. But I know that is a big decision to make, so do feel free to check out some of the other content on here before you do so. There'll be something recommended on the end screen. But there are also links in the description below to where you can follow me on all of the other socials. I'll also put the links to James's and Club House's and James's band Ugly Club and all of that, so you can check out all the cool stuff that he does when he's not about with me. There's also a link down there to my Buy Me a Coffee for if you really enjoy this content and you want to support me in money, then you can send one-off donations on there, or you can subscribe to one of my memberships, in which case you get access to the amazing behind-the-scenes video that's going to come out of this.
I think you should definitely do that. A, you don't want to miss the outtakes, but B, Emma puts a lot of work into this stuff, and I think sometimes that can be missed because obviously you don't get to see everything that goes on behind the scenes. Yeah, it's a big thing, and obviously like everything helps, and Emma's awesome, so go support her.
That's adorable. That is exactly the way we want to end this video. Okay, see you next week. Not next week. Next time. Bye.